Hey guys, Bonnie from bonnieandblythe.com here, and today is my second segment in my skin cancer video. I'm talking all about the procedure, post-op, pain, etc., what went on, so stay tuned. So in video one, I talked a lot about my feelings before the procedure, what I was going through, the thought that maybe I'd be scarred for life, a lot of emotion, and since then things have got a lot better in that department, that's for sure. So first of all, the procedure. So mine was a little bit different than some people's because I ended up going to a plastic surgeon after the initial doctor appointment where they removed the cancer. So I showed up really early in the morning. I brought Luke with me because I was super freaked out and I wanted somebody to hold my hand. They laid me back in a chair and started giving me shots in my nose. So honest to goodness, the absolute worst part of the whole thing was just shots in the face, in the nose especially. It's super sensitive. It hurt, I'm not gonna lie. It sucked, made me wanna cry. For the procedure itself, I got maybe 5 shots, maybe 6. The shot itself hurt, but it was when they started pushing the lidocaine into my nose that it really hurt. It started making my nose feel really swollen and puffy and heavy. So it was a really weird sensation. But once that was over, not as big a deal as I thought it was gonna be. After that, they did some scraping. I just kept my eyes closed, tried not to listen. Luke said he didn't want to watch either, so he didn't watch. At the very end, they did some cauterizing. So I smelt burning flesh. That was kind of gross, but it was really quick, like 10 minutes or less. They scraped it off, went out to analyze it. So I was sitting there just watching the news with Luke for a few minutes. The doctor came back in. He didn't even give me a second to think about it. He just blurted out, "We got it all. One cut, we're done." Yay, I was so happy. So I'm thinking, one cut, great. There's not gonna be any scar. They hardly took anything. Awesome. So as soon as the doctor leaves, I tell Luke, all right, take a picture for me. I'll document it. I'll know what it looks like before they even close it up. I'm thinking not a big deal, right? Yeah, guys. Don't look at it, okay? If you get this done, do not look until it's closed up because it was so gnarly. I'm gonna show you a picture. So if you're the queasy type, just skip on forward if you don't like this. So there you go, that's the before they sewed me up. After the procedure, before they close it all up. Pretty grody. Kind of just looks like they took like a melon baller to my nose. So anyway, after I saw that and freaked myself out a little bit, we took off. We left from the dermatologist's office and drove to the plastic surgeon's office. This was a whole different deal. So dermatologist, I sat in a regular doctor's office. They did a little scraping, whatever, sent me out the door. The plastic surgeon's surgery center was literally surgery. It was not like a regular doctor's office. Like I went into the pre-op section and then they take you into an actual surgery room, like an OR, except there's just a chair instead of a bed. So I asked the doctor a couple of questions. She cleared up some misconceptions and kind of put to rest some of my fears. And then she told me exactly what they were gonna do. When he cut it out, it was like the circle right here, right? And then she said they couldn't just cinch up that skin to close it up because it would look weird. So instead she drew a triangle with a marker above the circle. So it kind of looked like an upside down ice cream cone. And then she said they were gonna cut along that triangle and pull that skin down over the hole and then just cinch up the top part where there was no more skin and then stitch it all the way around, which I thought was a pretty ingenious way of doing it. I mean, clearly she's the professional. So that's what she did. Again, more shots, maybe 8 or 9. And by the last 2 or 3 shots, there was so much lidocaine in my nose that it was like running down the back of my throat and numbing my throat. Blah. So again, worst part. So once that was done, she got to work and honestly, it was really pretty pleasant. She was a very nice doctor. We chit-chatted it up. She told me about her kids. I told her about my kids. So she did the cutting, the pulling, and I really did not feel hardly anything. A little bit of pressure and that was it. And then I could see her out of the corner of my eye doing the stitching at the end. And then we were done. It was like a 10 or 15 minute procedure, really quick and dirty, and that was it. The most discomfort at that point, like I said, was just that my nose felt swollen and really heavy. It was almost like somebody put a weight on my face. So she bandaged me up with this humongous bandage and sent me on my way. So that was the procedure. As far as the recovery went that day, I kind of had a mild headache all day. And like I said, a really big weight on my face and then just a lot of numbness, and that's about it. They did give me, I believe, a couple of extra strength Tylenol while I was there. And then I grabbed Tylenol and ibuprofen on the way home because I was really nervous that when that wore off, it would hurt. Because I'll be honest, when I did the biopsy, that was actually quite painful once the numbing started wearing off. But the procedure was not anywhere near as painful once the numbing wore off. So I did take those Tylenol, I went home, took another ibuprofen and Tylenol that night, and by the next morning, I needed nothing. There was like no pain at all. Definitely soreness. At one point, my baby whacked me in the face and I was like, God, that hurts so bad, but If nobody touched it, it was really fine. So I got the procedure done August 29th, basically exactly a month to the day. Today's September 29th. And it feels and looks great right now. I'm gonna show you a couple of after pictures for that first week or so because I took a lot of them. So when I left the procedure, they put some Tape across my procedure site and then just said, leave the big bandage on for a day, and then after that, go ahead and wash your face like normal, just leave the tape on for a week, at least until the first post-op appointment, unless it falls off. So mine actually did stay on the entire week, and I couldn't really tell what was going on under there. It started lifting a little bit, and I could tell there was some scabbing going on, but because I was washing my face twice a day, and she told me to put lots of Vaseline on top of the tape, it stayed really moist under there, and so it was never like a hard, crusty scab. So then when I went in for the post-op, she took the tape off and wiped that stuff away, and maybe this is TMI, but it smelled so gross. Anyway, glad I didn't have to do that part. And when she wiped it away, she showed me a mirror, and I was blown away. It looked really, really, really good. There was a couple little spots around the incision area that had not fully healed, like you could still tell it was an open sore, so she told me to keep it bandaged until that was completely healed, which I did. But honestly, after 1 week, I was so amazed at how well it looked. So you can see today, I am wearing makeup, obviously, but I'm not wearing any on the scar. So hopefully you can see what that looks like today. It's still very red. How it looks now has not really changed much since about 10 days after. Once it healed over completely, it has looked just like this, only it was just a little bit redder. So what now? Obviously it's healing well. I went to one other post-op appointment where the nurse just told me that she liked the looks of it. I don't need to keep it bandaged anymore. Now my job is just to make sure that I do what it takes to minimize the scarring. So there are a couple of things that she suggested. Number one, I'm supposed to massage the scar. There is a little bit of lumps and bumps underneath it up here at the top where they stitch the skin together really tight, and down here below. And in order for it to look as smooth as possible, I'm supposed to massage it really vigorously, which kind of hurts, but it's not a huge deal. The other thing is to use a couple of scar minimizing treatments. Researched a ton on Amazon and read other bloggers' experiences and what they used, and I ended up choosing this bio oil. This was the top rated scar minimizing treatment on Amazon. It was super cheap too, maybe 10 or 12 bucks. And it's just a oil, pretty natural. You're supposed to rub it into the scar morning and night. And I've read some amazing testimonials about how this stuff minimizes scars. So the other thing is Mederma. A couple of people I know recommended this. Good reviews on Amazon. We'll try that out too. That was fairly cheap. The other recommendation I got was to use silicone strips or liquid that you can paint on. So silicone is supposed to be really good for scars. I didn't end up buying any. Thought I'd use what I had first. And then the other thing she said is to make sure I always have sunscreen on it. Obviously. Sunscreen is really good at minimizing the damage done by the sun to scars as well. Good friend of mine sent me this. It's called Elta MD Skincare UV Physical Broad Spectrum SPF 41. 41, I don't know why not 40, but whatever. I really like using this. It's slightly tinted, so I put it on before anything else, and it's kind of like good base for my makeup and doesn't have like a white pasty look. Active ingredients are zinc oxide and titanium dioxide, which are really important for sunscreen because that's the physical barrier. So anyway, I really like this one. I'll put links to all these products in the description. So check them out, do some research yourself if you're going through the same thing. I'm really happy with how everything turned out. I'm excited for the future. I'm not really self-conscious about it at all, which I'm so grateful for. I know it could have been a lot worse. If a skin cancer removal is something that you have in your horizon, don't despair, don't freak out. It's gonna be fine. It's a lot scarier at the outset than once you've gone through it. And even if you end up with a scar, let it be a chance for education. Anytime somebody asks you about it, you can say, it was skin cancer, we gotta take care of ourselves. This is what I do now. Hopefully more people don't have to suffer with skin cancer, whether non-lethal kind like my basal cell carcinoma or a really scary melanoma. Let's educate each other and take care of each other. If this video helped you at all, please like it. I'd love it if you subscribe. I'll have more videos about this in the future. I wanna make sure everybody stays informed and safe. Love you guys so much. Thanks so much for watching.